Katie of Katie's Florida Experience and Katie's Crafty Creations, Crafter Master of None, come on. And today I'm going to show you, I thought I recorded it, but apparently I had my camera in camera mode and not video mode. So we are going to do, little bit by little bit, we are going to work together on a pinwheel. And I discovered for the size I need for my blocks, I had to cut my background and my colored squares to 8 inches by 8 inches, and then I just flipped the colored ones over. And I know it's not ideal, but what I did was, let me grab one real quick. But basically what I did is I went corner to corner. I put my 1/4 inch line from my ruler onto this line, and then I just made the 1/4 inch lines on either side for my sewing lines. So right now I'm just going to take you to the process of putting these together and pinning them, even though I'm not going to sew them just yet. We will come back to that later. Alright, I'm still playing with how to pause and everything on this thing, but anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our background squares, if I can get it into the frame here, and adjust my camera. There we go. We're going to take one of the background squares, and then we're going to take one of our colored squares, and we're just going to place it on there, trying our best to line up our edges. And then what I'm going to do on all 4 of these is I'm just going to take on that 1/4 inch line, the diagonal from corner to corner, just going to take a pin and pin on either end of it, just to kind of hold this together until I'm ready to sew it. Fairly simple, straightforward. Just like that. Do one more with you. Background fabric, colored fabric. Getting rid of it, lining it up as best as we can. Looks like I did okay right there. Take a pin. Pin it in the center. Pin on this end. Like so. Do that to your other 4 blocks, and when we're ready, we will come back. Alright, I got you in as close as I could without, and it's kind of dark in my room, but we're going to go ahead and sew these together. Sit down here. I hope you can see with me sitting my head in the way. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just lining up those lines I drew on a 1/4 inch from that center, taking my pins out, and I'm just going to sew along that 1/4 inch line. Take out my pen and finish it. You can just flip it around. I tend to do that so I just cut off the thread so I can flip it again. Again, I'm going to go on the other side, line up on that 1/4 inch line I drew, and sew. Just like I was doing before, hopefully you can, right now you're just seeing my sewing machine, so let me re-angle it here. Okay, where you can see what I'm doing, sort of. Let's see. Pardon me, I'm just kind of rearranging where I'm putting you, so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Kind of hard to get this positioned correctly. Let me see here. hit the tripod. Anyway, I've sewn down both of these lines. Now I'm just kind of trimming these little threads that are sitting here. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to set it over here. And then we're going to take the rest of these and we're going to sew them the same way I did with the other one. So let me get an angle on you here again. You might be able to see the sewing machine. Oh yeah, I have to keep messing with this. I'm sorry because I haven't been able to figure out how to pause it. It says I should be able to pause it because it's a touch screen, but I haven't figured that out yet. So that being said, alright, so there's the sewing machine. Now, just like I did on the first one, before I take out the pin, I'm going to line up on that 1/4 inch line that I drew. Then I'll take out my pin, and I'll start sewing down that first line. And as I reach that last pin, I'm going to take it out. Obviously, you stop and then take it out. And then go ahead and finish that. Finish one on that line. Cut it. And you're going to line up on your other side on that line. And go ahead and sew the other side. Then I'm just going to trim these little threads off of here. Alright, so that's 2. Let's go ahead and do our next one. Get the pin and sew. And of course my sewing machine would want to come unthreaded. So let me rethread that real quick for you. Up over, turn that up so I can see what I'm doing, get it hooked in there, down, plunk it in there, kind of nip off that hook in there. Get your fingers to cooperate, thread the needle, get a couple of threads, pull it through. Up, reposition it, and so. And again, I'm coming up on the needle, so I'm going to stop, pull out my pin, and keep going. All the way to the end. We only have one left. I'll go ahead and do that one with you. Just like we've been doing. Lining it up on the end, just like so. I know you really can't see because it's the light of my sewing machine is kind of glary, and so I apologize for that. Pull out my pin. Almost forgot to take that out. That would not have been good. I'll go ahead and go down. Again, I'm coming out the pins. I'm going to stop, pull out the pin, and finish. And turn it around. Line up on the 1/4 inch line I drew, and away we go. Trying my best to keep it as straight as possible on that line. Using that line as my sewing guide. Get that out of the way. And now we're just going to do like before, just snip off the ends. Once I do that, I am going to pause you and get my cutting mat and all that kind of stuff ready to go. And we'll head on to the next step. I am going to, let me rephrase that. I'm going to attempt to pause you. Alright, so let me attempt to pause you. Alright, so we're at the pressing station. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do that. Kind of, again, set the seam. It may seem redundant, but I'm just going to press them open. And then I'm going to flip them over, and so they lay a little bit flatter. They're not going to lay perfectly flat because got a lot of points coming to, seams coming together in the center of these, but I'm just going to press my seams open. Just like this. No, I'm not afraid of burning my finger. I work at Arby's. I handle hot beef, hot fryers, hot foods all day. So yeah, I'm not exactly afraid of burning my fingers with my iron. And I'm just flipping it back over, and I'm just making sure I got it a good flat press. And that one looks booful. See? Booful. Booful, booful, booful. Now I'm just going to do that with the rest of the stack, and I will bring you back when we go back over to place them how we want them, and then we're just going to sew. So I will bring you back. Alright, somehow I figured out how to pause you, but then when I tried to turn you back on, it turned it off and I had to restart. So eventually I will figure this out. So now what you're going to have are these pretty little squares, and you're going to see these little pointy things. There it is. See? Little pointy things. They call those dog ears. I don't know why. It sounds kind of funny to me that they call them dog ears. Anyway, I'm just going to line my roller up straight along the edge of my little half square triangle, and I'm just going to cut the dog ears off. And turn it this way, lay it straight, and just cut off that dog ear. Turn it around, and do the same thing on the other side. I don't know if I can get you in any closer without it blurring on what I'm doing. That's as close in as I can get you. But, and I apologize, but I'm doing the best I can. As I said, I don't have a fancy film studio. I don't have fancy equipment. It's just me, my little Vivitar 16x camcorder, a tripod, and my hunk of junk, my hunk of brother LX3817G sewing machine, and my cutting mats. But anyway, that is how you do that. And I'm going to give you a rough idea real quick how you're going to lay it out. So let me zoom out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Basically, let's see, let me situate you. There we go. You're going to want to take your top. You want to have your colored one up here to your right. As you're looking at it, your white is going to be down to your left. Your color is going to be up to the right. You're going to grab your next. I haven't trimmed these, but I'm just kind of giving you an idea. You're going to grab your next one, and you're going to put the white on the top left and the color to the bottom right. That creates that little look. And if okay, you might be able to see this one. And then you're going to take this one, and on the bottom, you are going to put, how did I do that? You're going to put the white at the top right and your color at the bottom left. And then your last one to make your pinwheel is going to go, your color is going to be on the top left and your white is going to be on the bottom right. Basically that's how it lays out, and as I said, it is a very large block at this moment. But you're just going to fold these together. You're going to sew your top along the side. Do the same thing on your bottom. Going to sew it, and then once you have them pressed and open, you're going to sew the top to the bottom. Give it a good press. And once you do something like that and you cut it out to match whatever size you need your block, you end up with something that looks, trying to get you in the camera, but like, come on, where am I going? There we go. It looks like this when you're done. And you'll notice I've got my seams pressed out on this one as well. But that, ladies and gents, is how I create my pinwheel blocks to go with. I have them all buried here, but these are, I have lavender, I've got these blues that I'm working on, and then we're going to have this pretty like turquoise blue looking fabric with it, and this darker gray with the like circular pattern on it that are going to be our pinwheels to accompany. This one is one of the lights that we made from the other video. If I can get my hand to quit, if I can actually get it in frame. This is one of the light Dresdens that we made. And then this is one of the dark Dresdens, which is a lot bigger than, you see me, I may have to zoom you out for this one so you can actually see what I'm showing you. But this is one of the bigger dark Dresdens that I made. And all of these are going to go together with some sashing and some borders. As I said, I haven't quite got that far, but bear with me and I will be right back. Hi, this is the third time I've recorded this because I didn't like the ending from the original video that I did. So anyway, I appreciate you going on this journey with me on the pinwheel and bearing with me on all my screw-ups and mistakes and moving you all over the place. I appreciate you going through that journey with me. Anyway, I am still trying to raise money. My cell phone's off, so I haven't been able to do a fundraiser to raise my daughter's half of her rent for November so we don't get evicted, because Social Security decided in their infinite wisdom that, hey, let's not send her anything in the mail, but let's take the money away and say we did send her something, which they didn't, and now my daughter's SSI has been taken away. So I'm trying to fight with them on that one, and we all know it's the government. I'll be lucky if I get anywhere with it. But that being said, my bank does have you can send something via Zelle. So if you want to help me out to try to get my rent, it will be late as of November 6th, and then they add a fixed $245 or $250 late fee to it, and then they'll smack that 3-day notice on my door on the 6th, and then after that, I'll probably be on the streets living in my car again, like we were for over a year and a half before we got the apartment. Moved in on August 19th. So we've barely been in the apartment about 3 months, and now I'm stressing out that we're gonna lose it. So if you want to do that, message me, and I can give you the Zelle information to send money to the account I have set up for the rent, because my bank, I have a special account that I keep my rent money in, and there's Zelle attached to that. So I would be happy to do that if anybody would be kind enough to try to help me, so I can continue this process and not have to try to do it from my car, which I can't really use a sewing machine in my car. So this is like my therapy, and now my therapy is gonna probably go flying out the window. But anyway, as before, thank you. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment. And no negative Nancy comments. Positivity only. I don't like negative Nancy's. I don't want to hear, oh, well, you didn't sew straight, or, oh, you shouldn't have drawn those lines. I don't care what you think. You're watching my video. I'm a beginner. I'm a novice. I have to do what works for me, because I don't have a fancy sewing machine. That being said, stay positive, stay happy, stay healthy, and as always, don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not worth it, because, baby, you most definitely are. Signing out. Have a good night.